The history of animation from shadows to CGI. The history of animation dates back thousands of years. Early humans depicted motion in cave paintings by drawing multiple legs on animals. It was their way of showing movement, an early form of sequential art. Around 5,000 years ago, ancient Egyptians painted sequential drawings on pottery. These images were designed to be viewed as a story in motion. It was a primitive attempt at visual storytelling. In ancient China, shadow puppetry was used to animate stories. Using backlit puppets behind a cloth, performers created illusions of movement. This technique would influence theatrical animation in centuries to come. So, the phenakistoscope, which was invented in 1832 by Joseph Plateau, really revolutionized motion illusions. It actually used spinning discs and slits to create moving images when people viewed them through mirrors. This clever invention laid the foundation for, all our modern animation devices. Then, in 1877, the Praxinoscope improved on those earlier inventions. It used mirrors arranged in a circle to show much smoother animations. For the first time, audiences could see fluid, looping motion, which was pretty amazing for the era. The first projected animation actually came with Émile Reynaud's Theatre Optique in 1892. He used hand-painted images on film strips, and interestingly, his work predates cinema itself. It stands as one of animation's very earliest forms. So, in 1908, Émile Cole created Fantasmagorie, which is considered the first true animated film. It actually featured a stick figure on this surreal, dreamlike journey. And it really inspired animators all across Europe and America. In the 1910s, American studios started experimenting with character animation. Winsor McKay's Gertie the Dinosaur, released in 1914, introduced personality into animation. Gertie reacted, interacted, and honestly felt alive to audiences. The 1920s brought silent cartoons like Felix the Cat. These characters, they became some of the earliest pop culture icons. Animators began exploring timing, exaggeration, and visual rhythm in their work. So, in 1928, Walt Disney really revolutionized animation with Steamboat Willie. It actually introduced synchronized sound to animation, which was a huge deal at the time. And, that's when Mickey Mouse was born. And honestly, history changed forever. Disney kept pushing the boundaries of animation with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937. It was, the very first full-length cel-animated feature film. Even though there were a lot of doubts, it turned out to be a massive success. The 1940s brought in some serious competition from Warner Brothers and Fleischer Studios. Characters like Bugs Bunny and Popeye, they really became household names. During this time, animators started refining comedic timing and, those really expressive poses. During World War II, animation was used for propaganda and training films. Studios contributed to the war effort with informative and morale-boosting shorts. It really showcased the power of animation beyond just entertainment. The 1950s introduced television animation. Studios like Hanna-Barbera created cost-effective, limited animation shows. The Flintstones became the first prime-time animated series. In the 1960s and 70s, animation diversified in style and theme. Psychedelic visuals, experimental shorts, and adult-oriented content all emerged. Japan began shaping its unique animation identity, anime. Osamu Tezuka, known as the father of anime, really revolutionized Japanese animation. His Astro Boy series, which first aired in 1963, introduced cinematic storytelling and expressive characters. And, anime's influence began spreading globally. The 1980s brought animation into homes through VHS and cable television. Animated movies like The Secret of NIMH and My Neighbor Totoro, they pushed artistic boundaries. Meanwhile, Disney actually faced a decline during this time. That all changed in the 1990s with the Disney Renaissance. Films like The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin combined tradition with innovation. Hand-drawn animation really peaked in visual storytelling during this era. Meanwhile, Pixar entered the scene with Toy Story in 1995. It was the first fully computer-animated feature film, and honestly, it marked the rise of 3D animation. As CGI improved, studios like DreamWorks Blue Sky and Sony joined the 3D revolution. Films like Shrek Ice Age and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, well, they captivated global audiences. Visual realism and stylization evolved together. 2D animation didn't vanish, it went digital. Programs like Flash, which is now Adobe Animate, fueled web cartoons. Internet platforms became homes for indie animators. In the 2010s, streaming platforms really changed the animation landscape. Netflix, Disney+, and others started funding adult and experimental animations. Series like BoJack Horseman and Arcane, well, they gained a lot of critical acclaim. AI and virtual production tools began impacting the animation pipeline. Motion capture, real-time rendering, and virtual sets started to merge film and animation together. These hybrid techniques, honestly, opened up all sorts of new possibilities. Animation became global. Studios in Korea, India, and Latin America really started to rise. Co-productions blurred national boundaries, and storytelling reached a whole new multicultural frontier. Today, animation is no longer just for kids. It's an art form, a political voice, and a window into imagination. From cave walls to digital canvases, animation continues to evolve, one frame at a time.